So I got these two Z-shaped pieces of tube that I cut off the bottom, what used to be the bottom frame section of the shopping cart. And now I'm gonna try to cut them into pieces that I can use to build a steering wheel of sorts, or just kind of like a yoke-shaped steering wheel. So not a whole round wheel, but just like handles that are connected together and point in the middle. It's kind of hard for me to explain it completely, but I think you guys will get the idea once I start cutting these apart. So we got the pieces cut out, and this is the shape that I was talking about. So I'm thinking this will be the top side of the steering wheel, this will be the bottom, and then the steering shaft somehow is going to join into this middle bit here. And I'm not sure if I'm just going to clean these up and weld it together like this, or if I'm going to add a little chunk of tube in the middle as like a little spacer between these two pieces, but that's what I got to figure out now. Grinder. All right, so I got the welds all cleaned up, and now we got to figure out how we're going to attach a steering shaft to this thing. All right, so our next step's figuring out how to attach our steering wheel to our steering shaft. And to do that, we wanted to make a tab here to just have an easier surface to attach the shaft onto. So I cut this little piece out of cardboard just to kind of get an idea of what we wanted to do. And then I went ahead and I just cut it out of some 3/16 plate. And now it's time to just grind it and clean up the edges and tack this thing onto the steering wheel. All right, well, clean it off and weld it up. we got the welds cleaned up good enough, and yeah, I guess what next step, figuring out how to get the steering shaft onto the back of this thing. So we got this little chunk of tube here, which we're going to weld on to that tab we just made on the back side of the steering wheel. And then the rod we have for the steering shaft, it fits down inside, that's what it does, of this tube. And so that's how we're going to attach the steering shaft to the steering wheel. Finished welding on this little piece of tube, and it's late, so time to clean up the garage, and I'll clean up the welds tomorrow.